And take a moment to get settled here on your cushion, on your mat, even in a chair. These first few moments, we'll just be looking at the reasons for breathing through the nose. So as you just wiggle around, I usually have to fidget a bit when I first come to mat. So fidget, wiggle, settle. And when you're ready, just either soften eyes or close eyes. And let's take a moment to notice breath moving in and out of our nostrils. The first thing we might notice is that the air coming in is a little cooler than the air moving out. Maybe you can sense that slight difference in temperature. This is evidence that breathing through the nose helps us retain heat. Our body heats our breath. And so nose breathing allows us to keep that heat inward. Our nose has little cilia, hairs, and through all of our sinus passages, those little hairs filter the air, so the air hitting our lungs is cleaner. Our mucous membranes humidify the air, so the breath coming into our lungs is a little more moist. So that warmer, cleaner, humidified breath is a more friendly breath to our lungs. There's also a nervous system response to nose breathing. And to test this out, you could open your mouth and go like this. Take a gulp of air in, and you'll feel air hitting the back of your throat. When that happens, there's a signal to the brain to be on alert. When we breathe through the nose, we bypass those sensors at the back of the throat, and so we can remain in the parasympathetic or the relaxed side of our nervous system. And finally, another reason for breathing through the nose is this becomes a breath we can hear on our inner ears. There's a soft whisper sound to a nose breath, and it gives us something to pay attention to. See if you can hear the sound of your own breath crossing your ears. Noticing the exact pinpoint where breath begins to enter the nose. Is that the front of your nostrils? Is it more central, or is it closer to your lip? Where does breath enter? And where does breath exit? Where is the last trace of breath that leaves your nose? As we're continuing to breathe through the nose, let's stretch the neck a bit, half circles or full circles. Take a moment to explore and stretch through the neck in any way that serves you, that feels like opening and receiving the muscles of your neck. I invite you to move your shoulders a little bit in any way, circles, lifting and lowering, maybe alternating. Let's notice movement in shoulders while we're breathing through the nose. And then let's reach arms out and up and lower down, continuing nose breathing and just noticing if that has changed at all with movement. Maybe it's slower, maybe it's a bigger breath. Releasing the hands down, we'll come off of our cushion and let's come up to a kneeling position on our shins. And we'll just create a little flow of breath here. You can put some padding under your knees if that feels good to you. So we'll breathe through the nose, inhaling, arms up. And exhaling, we'll sink the hips backwards and reach the arms behind. Your forehead may touch the earth, it may not. And you're also welcome to bring a block or a cushion in front of you to make that a little easier for your head to touch something. Flowing camel, breathing through the nose. If you'd like to make this breath a little more audible, you can constrict the muscles in your throat and start to make a soft ujjayi breath, a whisper breath. One more time, lifting and lowering. And then settling into Balasana, child's pose. I'm going to choose a block under my forehead. Knees come a little wider. Lower your head to either a block, your hands, or the mat. Arms wherever you like, extended or close to your body. And now as we continue breathing through the nose, let's move to breath of awareness. And breath of awareness is a little exploratory practice where we see about moving breath into different parts of our body. So we are aware of breath moving through the nose. See if you can feel breath traveling down your throat and toward your lungs. Can you feel breath as it enters the lungs? Perhaps the lungs lifting up toward the collarbones. Aware of breath in the middle of the lungs, which might feel like a sideways breath pressing out toward your armpits or your outer ribs. And breath reaching the lowest lobes of the lungs. This is where we might feel belly breath. The yoga teacher, Brian Kest, says there really is only one yoga pose. It's the pose where breath reaches the bottom of the lungs. So in every shape we find ourselves in, can you stretch your breath into the bottom of your lungs? And when that happens, there's another nervous system response, a relaxation response when there's breath all the way to the bottom of the lungs. In this moment, there can be no possibility of danger if we're breathing this deeply. Our mind knows it can reset and relax. See if your body is trusting the breath. Breath of awareness. Continuing to breathe through the nose with awareness. Let's rise to a tabletop. And we'll move into equal and even breathing. So this is a breath that's the same on the inhale and the exhale. The easiest way to find this is with counting. So let's move into cow in the count of 3 and cat, the count of 3. Your own count, making the breath even and equal. You could choose another number, 4 or 5 or 2, whatever number you choose, just keeping the breath even. Let's tuck our toes and shift the hips backwards. And either stay here, stretching the bottoms of your feet, or lift into downward facing dog. Coming into an even and equal breath here. Choose a number, and then we'll make the breath even. Inhale and exhale. Nose breathing. Breath of awareness, equal and even. Let's widen our feet, soften our knees, and walk the hands back to the feet. Placing a generous bend in our knees, let's come into a forward fold here, and it can be a rag doll. You can wrap your arms around your legs or hold on to feet. Come into a forward fold here that allows you to just drape your torso down. A little inversion, a gentle opening in the back of the body. Nose breathing. Awareness of breath hitting the bottom of the lungs. Equal and even. Pressing hands to shins. Let's come into a half lift and introduce a little bit of movement. Inhale to flat back, exhale, fold. Knees can stay bent. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. One more time, inhale. And exhale with fingertips on the floor in front of you. Let's bend and straighten the knees a few times, opening up back into the hamstrings. And when you're ready, hands to thighs, gently lifting up to standing. Let's roll our shoulders out and find a good stand. Take a stand here. Move in any way that helps you feel like you're really standing in your own 2 footprints, rooting down, standing tall, palms spinning forward, heart opening to this moment. Let's bring one or both of our hands to the belly and start to take in belly breath. An expansion and a contraction of the abdominal muscles. And since our eyes are either closed or shifted down, no one is looking. It's okay to let your belly expand. We are taught to suck it in our society, and in doing that, we constrict our ability to breathe. We also carry with us this sympathetic nervous response that happens when our abdominals are tightly held. So take a moment to just trust the process of softening the belly and contracting again. Let the hands come to the side of the rib cage, and you can take a thumb and a finger here to the sides of the ribs or flat hands. Breathe sideways, like your breath is pressing out towards the side walls. And as we exhale, we'll squeeze the ribs in. Inhale, I'll exaggerate. And exhale, squeeze, feeling that sideways breath. Noticing more capacity for oxygen. And then let your fingertips come to the collarbones. You can either rest slightly above or slightly below the collarbones, breathing up into our hands. Nose breath. Awareness of our breath hitting the bottom of our lungs. Equal and even. And now let's put those 3 parts together into 3-part breath. So we'll inhale into the belly, then the ribs, then the shoulders. And we'll exhale, relaxing our shoulders, softening our ribs, squeezing in the belly. Inhale, bottom to top. Exhale, top to bottom. Let's use our hands as a gesture, palms up. Inhale, bottom to top, like you're filling up a glass of water. Exhale, top to bottom, like there's a hole in the bottom of the glass and it's draining out. Inhale, fill. Exhale, empty. Nose breathing. Awareness of our breath moving in our body. Equal and even. 3-part breath. Keeping that going, let's move the hands a little bit bigger. We'll inhale all the way up. And we'll exhale, letting the arms drop down. Inhale, feel up, bottom to top. Exhale, top to bottom. Imagine that the glass just got bigger. Inhale, bottom of the feet through the fingertips. Exhale, fingertips down to the earth. One more time, reach high. Exhale, lower the arms, and let's hinge from the hips and return to a forward fold. Take a moment here again to explore with your fingers on the floor, side to side, taking a hold of heels or just hanging here in ragdoll. Noticing body, noticing breath. Stepping back when you're ready to downward facing dog. Let's take another back body stretch here, bending one knee and then the other. And then lowering our knees to the mat. We'll take a transition to a seat. For an uncomfortable shape, fire log pose. If your hips feel a little tight, go ahead and elevate your hips onto a blanket or a bolster. You can also use props under your knees. So I've chosen a uncomfortable pose for a purpose. Let's begin by taking our, and I'm going to mirror you, so I'm going to be all discombobulated here. So let's take our right shin down to the floor. You can prop under that if you like. The left leg is going to come on top. So Left knee stacks over right ankle, left ankle over right knee. So your legs are like fire logs. You can prop under this knee as well if that feels extremely uncomfortable. That's what I'm going to do. We're right on top of two sitting bones and our spine is tall. We're probably noticing sensation in both hips, but perhaps a little bit more in this left hip. All right, so sitting tall, let's bring two fingers to the place between the eyebrows. And we'll take a deep breath in and empty the breath all the way out. And then let's close off the left nostril, breathing in through the right. Switch fingers and breathe out of the left. And then inhale through the left and breathe out of the right. The pattern is in, switch, out, in, switch, out. You can visualize the breath kind of making a rainbow shape that traces itself back and forth through the brow and out the opposite nostril. Make sure you're touching the nose a little bit higher so you're not closing off the nostril completely. Just restricting flow a little bit. The next time you breathe out of your left nostril, release the hand, keep eyes soft, fingertips at the side of your body, and take a deep breath in. Exhale to fold forward over your legs. Returning to center, let's unfold the legs out in front of us. We'll give them a little shake, maybe a little massage with our hands. And let's switch. So now your left shin is on the bottom, your right shin is on top. Placing bolsters, props, blankets, wherever you need to kind of fill in the space. Everyone's hips are built a little differently, so just giving your hips the support that they need here. And when you feel situated and maybe comfortably uncomfortable, a little gentle pressure here at the brow point. Let's begin by taking a deep breath in with a long exhale. This time, start by breathing in through your left nostril. Switching at the top, breathe out of the right. And then reverse that. Inhale through the right. Switching at the top, out of the left. And repeat back and forth over that rainbow of breath. You might try to extend or suspend the breath at the top. Just a momentary pause before switching nostrils. This is a balancing breath. Balancing the right and left hemispheres of the brain. Balancing the right and left sides of our body. Let's all do one more round, finishing with an exhale out of the left. And when you've completed that, gently release the hands to the sides of the body and allow your torso to fold forward. Steady breath through the nose, equal and even. Awareness of breath moving in your body. And releasing the posture, extending the legs out in front and shaking them out. Making our way down onto our backs and finding any support. So perhaps something under the knees, a pillow, a blanket over your body. And coming here into this Shavasana shape pose, we will complete this practice with 4, 7, 8 breaths. So we'll inhale 4 counts, we'll pause and hold for 7 counts, and exhale 8 counts. I'll invite you to do your own counting. I visualize a little triangle in my head when I do 4, 7, 8 breathing, and I start with a small triangle, and the triangle eventually gets bigger. So inhale 4, hold 7, exhale 8. Completing one more round of 4, 7, 8 breaths. When you're finished with that breath, allow breath to be natural. Nose breathing. Awareness of breath, where it's moving in your body. Equal and even. Take one more equal and even breath. Begin to come back to awareness of your body lying here, fingers, toes, hands, feet. Gently moving your body, stretching, maybe waking up again, and finding a way back to a seat. Keeping eyes soft or closed, breathing through the nose. Awareness of breath reaching the bottom of the lungs. Breath equal and even. Each breath that comes in delivers oxygen, life. Each breath that goes out removes toxins like nitrous oxide and carbon dioxide. Our breath inherently knows that to hold on to those things is like holding poison. And our body knows that in order to receive this new life, this new breath, this new moment, we have to let go of what has already served us, what we're finished with. For these next few breaths, let your body, your breath, your respiratory system be your teacher in letting go of what is complete. I am open to what is new. In removing what is finished in my life, I am open to the moment right here before me. A reminder that, as Amy Tan said, in any moment we can change our experience by just changing the way we look at the experience. This moment is a new beginning. We have choice of how we step into it. Let's bring our hands together in a gesture of gratitude for our breath, for this amazing system within us that keeps us alive, and that is our teacher, our guide. Bowing to ourselves and to each other. Namaste.